And before I continue with our guest today on set, I'd like to remind you that the Homes and Property Expo is the 14th to the 16th of July. Yes, this year, the 14th to the 16th of July 2023 at the Sheraton Gardens. We'll be having the backyard garden as usual. We'll be having all your real estate needs there. So if you're out there and you're thinking, I have to invest in property this year, the Homes and Property Expo is your platform. And if you're also out there and you're a developer, you're into manufacturing, anything that falls into the real estate industry, you're a producer, you're a service provider, an interior decorator, an interior designer, name it. As long as you fall in real estate, please, the Homes and Property Expo is your platform. Come book a stall with us. The numbers on the screen are your numbers to call for you to be able to book a slot, or our social media platforms on the screen. Feel free to send us a message and we'll respond to you timely for you to book your slot. But this, Mr. Richard Lukandwa, do I have the name right?
Yes, Dr. Richard Lukandwa.
It's a pleasure having you on set. So before we actually went into this engagement, earlier on he was asking me something that was interesting that most of you out there may not understand. He asked me, how is this related to the property show? And I told him, you know what? Many of us Ugandans think real estate is only my home, the hotel I go to, or the office building I work in, and that is real estate. You have it wrong. Real estate is your medical facility. Real estate is your children's schools. Real estate is the road you use as infrastructure. Real estate basically is all around us, everywhere around us. Why we choose the medical hub today is because many of us go out there, and when you're shopping for your home or you're looking for your home, you want everything perfect in your home. You want the right configuration of your home, that's the number of rooms. You want, the right structure. You're wondering, is the slab strong enough? But how many times do you ever sit down and say, I'm doing medical shopping? Never factor in that our loved ones are going to fall sick. Yet this is part of life. This is part of us. So Dr. Richard, I'd like to know, what is your main area of work? What do you do?
I'm a consultant physician and I work at the Wellington Heart and Diabetes Center. So my main area is in complex disease that is done surgical. And these include things like diabetes, heart disease, complex problems like thyroid disease.
What is thyroid
etc.
disease?
The thyroid gland is a small gland just in front of the neck, which produces hormones that are important for our metabolism or the body's way of producing energy. So you can either have an underactive thyroid, an overactive thyroid, or other complex problems like thyroid cancer. So
how does the environment actually help your patient?
Very good. A very strong point we have here at the medical hub. We've created a space that is patient friendly. We have waiting areas that are child friendly, waiting areas that are women friendly for the pregnant women, waiting areas that are friendly to all sorts of patients. And we've also subdivided areas that are spacious and purpose built for this particular function. For example, if you come to our waiting rooms are spacious enough, but with all the implements necessary for both diagnosis and emergency care.
When you look at your setup and your layout, it's an open space.
Yes.
So how do you handle that? But you still keep the beauty of the facility, and yet you're also giving the utmost care and service.
Very good. What it is that there are lots of entrances. In fact, on one side, we have an area for the not very sick, and on the other side, we have those that are very sick. For example, you won't see lots of wheelchairs and other things of that kind, because our emergency side and our intensive care unit is on the other side of the building. It has a separate entrance, so the very sick will go towards that side. On this other side, in this open space you can see, we've got mothers who are bringing their children for immunization, pregnant mothers going for scans. So you will not see, so each area of the hospital is purpose built for whatever function.
But I noticed even at the Wellington Center, you will still never see a patient in dire need. For the years I've been here, I've never seen anyone on the verge of medical attention when I come here.
It's because for those that are ill, we have a specially built emergency area where we take them for resuscitation. And once they are stable, we take them either to the wards. If they are very ill, we have an intensive care unit. So because of that, you won't see the very ill waiting, for example, in the waiting room, because once you come in and you triage is where you first meet a nurse. So once we realize you're very sick, you're quickly wheeled off to the emergency area and you will be seen immediately by a specialist or a medical officer and then sent off to the appropriate place. So ideally, we should not be seeing very sick patients waiting.
In what was the motivation behind creating a facility that doesn't give off the vibe and feeling of a hospital?
Well, you mentioned something like real estate and functional real estate. Now, the beauty about the medical hub, it has been purposely built as a hospital, not just transformed from a different building to another. And so each particular area was well thought out. For example, in the Diabetes and Heart Center, we have different cubicles for specialized tests. We have a cubicle, for example, or a room for heart ultrasounds or heart scans. It's called echocardiography, but for the layman's term, we call them heart ultrasounds. So that is purpose built. You have a machine that is there and the beds and the preparation area specifically built for that. Then you have, for example, an ear, nose, and throat suite, which has a lot of advanced equipment. You'll have the cameras can look down the throat if you need to do a small procedure. So the real estate on this area was well planned for each particular specialty. If you move up, for example, to the wards upstairs, you find that the rooms are purpose built.
I noticed they are soundproof.
Yes, definitely, yeah, they're soundproof.
Yes.
And for example, if you've given birth to a baby, you'll have a baby crib, you'll have a mother, and you'll have a carer's bed specially for that.
I like
So
how
this
you made them
particular
as
space is
self-and
purpose
suites
built.
that are like mini hotel
Very
rooms.
good, yes, that's right. Yes.
Yes. Okay, then how does the setting of the medical hub
Yes.
facilitate the improvement or the quick recovery of your patients?
Very good. Of course, when someone is ill, it's not only the medicine you're going to give them. If you're very ill and you're in either cramped up environment or an environment you may feel is not very hygienic, your mental health has an impact on how quickly you heal. If you're in a place where you feel the space is good enough, the machine and equipment is available, and the appropriate specialists are available, and it's in a friendly, beautiful environment, your mental health is perfect. And once you've got good mental health, it also has an effect on your healing. So it's not only administration of medicines and the appropriate investigations, but your environment is very important for your healing as well.
If you were to advise someone right now who's starting up a medical facility,
Yes.
what would you advise their structure? What would you say these are the three things your
Yes.
structure should have?
Most importantly, your facility should be planned by someone who has expertise in the building of medical facilities. Because the way medical facilities built is completely different from other infrastructure. For example, you mentioned that you don't see very sick patients. You have to have a provision for that. So those that are very sick need to be in a different area from those that are not very sick. That's number one. Number two, you don't have to have the same size of rooms. If you're having inpatient rooms, for example, depending on the condition of the patient, you have to have them purpose built for different cases. And then number three, beauty is very important and cleanliness. Because once you have space and you're clean, you reduce on infection that you can pick up from hospital. Because in medicine, we have what we call nosocomial infections. What that means, infections that you can pick up in the hospital environment. So an environment that has not been very well planned, things are cramped up, you don't have adequate waste management, might not be appropriate. So you need to have a space that has been well planned with infection control at the back of your mind. And infection control is not only waste, it involves things like sanitations. If you look around here, there are lots of points of sanitation around. And also the place is spacious. If you're sick, you're not cramped up. The waiting areas are big, so you're not in close proximity with other patients. So planning of a health facility is very important.
What do you think about having green in a health facility? Do you advocate for every health facility to make sure it has a lot more green than a brick and mortar, or do you feel like the ratio is not relevant?
Green is very important because green helps when you're in a hospital and you're cramped up and there's a lot of gases, especially carbon dioxide. Green is very important because plants are very well known for giving good aeration by taking up the carbon dioxide and releasing oxygenation, which is very good for your patients and everyone in general.
Where we are today at the medical hub, it's a facility right at the center of the heart of Kampala that is next to the golf course, Ginger Road.
Yes.
What do you say this facility has added to the skylines of Kampala as a medical facility?
Well, a beautiful health facility is very, very important. One, we've created what would be like a boutique hospital.
Mm,
It's small, it's compact, it's very beautiful, and all the space has been well utilized. So, for example, if you're an investor in
mm,
real estate
mm,
and you're going to the hospital,
mm,
you'll have higher yields
mm,
by investing in the health facility
mm,
and bringing practitioners to work in different units.
mm,
Because of the intense nature of our work
mm,
and the volume of patients that you get
mm,
in a well planned space,
mm,
you're able to charge a little bit higher
mm,
than you would, for example, for a normal shop.
mm,
So it is a good investment in terms of the amount of yield compared to the amount of space,
mm,
and also for it being a beautiful facility.
mm.
We're trying to change the face of healthcare.
In conclusion, what would you like the audience out there to know?
We are at the center of town. We provide all services under one roof. We are a multitude, as the medical hub says, we're a multitude of different health units. So we shall be able to offer any of your health needs. We have the Wellington Heart and Diabetes Center, but also in addition to heart and diabetes, we look at other things like endocrinology. We have the Roswell Women's Hospital. We have the ENT suite. We have all specialties of any kind are available at the medical hub. We have an intensive care unit. So if you have any health needs and you want to come to the center of Kampala and get good health care, we are available to provide it all.
It was a pleasure having you, said Mr. Richard. Thank you so much. And to you out there who are watching, have you thought about having your own hospital? When I say your own hospital, I don't mean own it, but I mean that place whereby if, for example, I, Christabel, if anything happened to me, you'll find my medical documents at the medical hub. When you're out there shopping, like you go and shop for your property, shop the right medical facility. It's just not about the doctors. Yes, the doctors are key, but also the setting, the environment matters so much. It was the Property Talk for today. Till next time.